Samantha Santos. As always, today's show will be filmed in front of a live audience. Woo! You guys, I can't wait for you to meet today's special new guest, Mrs. Jamie DeVellis, who is here to promote her new essay, Harness That Shakti. So, as per usual, let's get social! Hello! How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so excited
Busy
to be
as
here
per
today.
usual?
Oh, of course.
Love that.
I've just been mulling over this essay, and I am so excited to finally share all 6 pages of Harness That Shakti with you all
Can
today.
I just say before we start, Harness That Shakti? Couldn't put it down. Read it front and back.
Oh, you're
front and
too
back.
sweet.
One night, I was hooked, you guys.
Oh my god.
I was hooked. So, from what I understand, your essay is arguing that Priya Shakti is the most socially relevant superhero. Am I right?
Yes, but more specifically, Priya Shakti is the most socially relevant superhero for those who have been affected by gender-based violence and sexual harassment, both in India and in America.
Yes. The comic shows the horrors of gender-based violence in rural India. Does the essay touch on sexism outside of the context of the comic, could you say?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It does indeed. In the essay, I really focused on the contrasts and similarities between gender-based violence in places like rural India and the Me Too movement, which is just so entrenched in American culture right now.
And also because it's such a taboo topic in India, like what you
Yeah,
said.
definitely. I agree. I thought it was really amazing that the people chose to write a comic about such a sensitive topic.
Controversial topic, some might say.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, can you tell me more about the Me Too movement's connection to the comic?
Oh, I would love to explain more.
Priya Shakti and the Me Too movement share a common goal. Both aim to destigmatize discussions of sexual misconduct through education about what sexual harassment is and what we can do to prevent it. Both the comic and this movement are of extreme social importance because they are standing up against the culture of silence and shame around reporting and discussing sexual violence against women. The culture of internalization is toxic and needs to be confronted, as these two platforms do.
How do you think the author thought of the idea of the comic? Like, what's the inspiration?
Well, it's actually based off of real life events.
Priya Shakti is based off of the gang rape that ended 23-year-old Jyoti Singh's life. This horrific event caused an uproar and calls for action against gender-based violence in New Delhi and all of India.
What a horrific tragedy that I'm sure caused outrage and political aftershocks in the Indian community.
Oh, yes, it did just that.
Although most people participated in the #MeToo movement primarily online, it can easily be compared to the protests in India.
Wow, Jamie, I don't know about you, but as a woman, I'm glad these social issues are getting so popular in today's society. Having these open and honest discussions about such taboo topics is really such a big step, I'd say, towards the way women are perceived in society.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
One of the most powerful panels in the comic is watching Priya encourage the people of India to stand up and speak without shame.
Such an iconic panel. Well, since we've been all talking about free discussions and debate, I am now going to be opening up this discussion with our audience. Okay, yes, you with the beanie.
The Me Too movement is supposed to stand for all women, but all I'm seeing are the rich white women on social media. Has Hollywood's participation in the movement caused a decline in representation?
That's an excellent question. We cannot fully understand the Me Too movement
and all its importance without acknowledging all the privileges of those who made this movement most socially relevant in America. The movement was started in 2006 by Tarana Burke. As a Black woman, she started this movement to address the fact that Black women living in low-income communities face sexual harassment at a much higher rate than many other communities.
You at the back with the blue sweater.
How do you think the comic changed the narrative of social responsibility? I'm so glad you asked that. A common misconception
is that the comic's target audience is centered specifically on survivors of sexual assault. Although that's who this comic is most socially relevant to, it's much more than that. Many panels and the comic in general serve to educate the male population on their essential role in this social movement, such as preventative education and the true definition of consent and gender equality.
Oh, Jamie, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And as a special surprise and a special gift from Jamie herself, we will be handing out free essays.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, you get an essay! You get an essay!